Welcome to episode 696 of Salsidoparanormal. I'm your host, James Salsido, and tonight I'm reviewing a novel, maybe two novels, by Stephen King. As always, you can find all episodes of the show, along with links to social media and other ways to contact me, at the podcast page, and that is salsidoparanormal.podbean.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or accounts of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. Thank you all for listening, whether you are here for the live recording streams on Discord, or if you listen to the podcast or YouTube feeds, or on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. There you can hear replays of two episodes of my show every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Michael Strange and Troubled Minds Radio comes on. And as always, I want to thank Michael Strange for having me on the network and putting my shows up there. If you want to help the show, there are different ways to do that. You can always share my show with others. You can rate and review it on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find books I've written, paranormal fiction and nonfiction, over on Amazon, including my most recent release, Salsido Paranormal Experiences. You can sign up for the Patreon page and get all the extra content there that has already been released, and then whatever I put out in the future. Or you can just also make one-time donations through PayPal. Support is never expected, but always appreciated, as there are expenses in making these shows, from equipment to research materials to travel expenses in some cases. So we will start, at the very least anyway, tonight with a novel by Stephen King called Joyland. And let me get to the file here, or the page here that describes it. So let's see here. I'm on the wrong tab. Let me get over to the right one. So this came out in the early 20 teens, 2013, around there. So it's a story in large part about an amusement park. And so the story focuses on Devin Jones. He takes a summer job at this amusement park called Joyland in North Carolina. He's told by a local fortune teller that he'll meet two children that summer. One is it will be a girl with a red hat, and the other will be a boy with a dog. And so Devin finds lodging for the summer at a rooming house, a boarding house, and owned by a Mrs. Chaplaw, who knows a lot about the history of the amusement park there and the employees. And so that's where he's staying while he's there. Devin's girlfriend, Wendy, also promises to meet with him there, and or meet with him, but then ends up ditching him before he gets out there. So he goes out there. So at the start, and so I guess at this point I forgot. I was trying to remember. I can't remember. Apparently he was in college because he's talking about summer jobs and semesters and all that. So at this point, when the summer arrives and he's Devin is put in one of the teams that is one of the groups of the work crews that runs the park, and he becomes friends with other team members who are also new to the place, Tom and Aaron. And so he works mostly with Lane Hardy, who is who operates the park's Ferris wheel. This is another employee. And so, meanwhile, of course, Devin ends up learning through a letter through the mail that that Wendy is basically done with him and has found someone else. So he barely, of course, this sort of really troubles him, and he spends a lot of his free time listening to music and going through this sort of a really dark time in his life. And he realizes that he has at this point, a talent for portraying the mascot of the park, which is a dog, and so he goes into that job basically in acting and as the mascot for this park. So he eventually his friends have to confront him about it, and one day while acting as this mascot, he saves the a girl with a red. Sorry, not a red. With a doll from choking on a hot dog there. So he saves this girl, and so the park owner and founder, Mr. Easterbrook, really appreciates him doing that and becomes sort of a local celebrity hero kind of figure. So around this time, Devin, Tom, and Aaron, the new people and the staff there, find out that several years earlier there was a girl named Linda Gray that was murdered in the park's dark themed ride called the Horror House, and that her ghost still haunts it supposedly. And Tom sees her ghost on the ride and refuses to talk about it, but Devin really gets interested in these things, and so at this point, at the end of the summer, Devin decides to take a year off from school and stay at the park while it's closed. And so Aaron, one of the other workers there, researches the murder that happened at the park while she's back in school, and plans a return visit to Joyland with Tom to tell Devin about what she's found. And so she brings back pictures and articles about what has happened, and proves that there was this was only the latest in a string of unsolved murders that were never connected by the police. So she's basically stumbled onto things that the police may have missed. And so Devin, meanwhile, becomes close to another couple of local people, a mother and son, Annie and Mike, who live near the park. And despite Annie not being sort of interested in becoming friends with Devin, she actually gets closer to liking him because he makes her son happy, basically, and her son has a terminal illness, and so at this point, let's see here, Mike, the son, tells Devin that that he knows about the ghost of Linda Gray, and he also has a dog. And Devin realizes he That Mike also has a dog, and Devin realizes that everything that he that was predicted by the fortune teller has happened. So at this point, Devin is able to organize a private trip to Joyland for Mike because of his condition and everything, and of course all the employees there help out and make this visit really memorable. So the as Mike is near this ride where Linda Gray died, as he's near this place where it happened, this horror house, he actually ends up helping her to move on, and that night, turns out Devin and Annie, the mother, have gotten a lot closer than they expected. So Devin goes back to the boarding house, which is preparing for an upcoming storm. And he starts looking through all the pictures and articles again of this murder case of Linda Gray. And he figures some things out based on his experience in the park and the information in these articles, and discovers that Wayne Hardy, the ride operator, is most likely the one that committed these murders. Meanwhile, Lane has also been keeping track of Devin, and so Lane thinks that Devin knows who he is, and so he threatens Devin with the murder of Annie and Mike, the mother and son, unless Devin meets him at Joyland. So Lane makes Devin go on the Ferris wheel in the middle of the storm, and he's about to kill Devin when Annie shows up and shoots Lane. And Devin learns that Mike has been awakened by another ghost, this time of a park employee that Devin had previously saved, who warned him about Lane. And so this is basically where the book ends. Annie and Mike return to Chicago to meet with Annie's father, who's Mike's grandfather. Let me see here. No, I'm sorry, Annie and Mike, not Devin. Go back to basically meet with family, and Devin goes back to school, and of course, due to this terminal illness, Mike, the son, does end up passing that spring, and has his ashes spread on the beach, and in North Carolina there. So that's where the book ends. It's really well done, especially with the ghost aspects of it all. It's there, but it's not Hollywood style ghost. So that's a nice thing about it. But yeah, so it was a neat book, and I remembered enough of it. Again, just describing it there, to remember that I enjoyed the book a lot, and yeah, so that's that one. And we still have 10 minutes left, so let's see if we can get through Carrie as well. And I think that won't be too difficult. It's not an extremely long novel, so getting on to Carrie. Now, this one came out a lot earlier. This one came out in 1974. So this is about the title of the book is the name of the main character in the book, and so this is about a Let me see here. It takes place in 1979 in a town called Chamberlain, Maine. And so it's about Carrie. Her real given name is Carrietta, but she's known as Carrie. Carrie White, who is 16 years old. Excuse me. So she's in high school, and she is not very popular in school at all. She's been ridiculed for her weight, and appearance, and unusual religious beliefs, of course, which she has no control over because they were pretty much just instilled into her by her mother, Margaret, and who is also not a very good, nice person toward her, and that's her own daughter. So one day, Carrie is in school, and this goes into details here I'm not going to go into, but at one point in one of these situations where she's being ridiculed, she's terrified, and so she ends up. This is where she ends up displaying an ability through her panicking and everything that causes objects to move on their own, and so not too long after that, and so she's sent home after that, and on the way home, she finds that she has this ability, and she's known about it, but she's to the point now where she's thinking about trying to control it because of previous events. And she does find that she can control objects from a distance. And she remembers using this power when she was only 3 to cause stones to fall from the sky. Now, this is something, this aspect of stones falling from the sky that has been reported over time around the world in different places. So it makes me wonder now if there's a connection here with people that have powers and don't even know it, or have had powers that don't even know it. So she goes home, and things go from there. The next day, the people that were picking on Carrie are reprimanded, and so I just lost my spot. So I'm sorry. So this next day, everything is happening with the school and everything. So this is one of the people that was picking on her is given suspension, and also told that she cannot go to the prom. Her name is Chris. She's the one that basically organized the worst of the bullying. Basically, is told that she can't go to prom, and her and so Chris's family tries to get her reinstated as this as I believe it was prom queen, but they I'm losing my spot here over and over again. That's not good. So this novel is really about people who bully Carrie, and in the end, it unleashes this storm of energy from Carrie that causes just a ton of objects to move. She ends up unleashing all this energy, these waves of force and energy that destroy several buildings in this town, and ends up killing hundreds of people. And as she's doing this, she sends a telepathic message showing the people in the town that that what happened to her to cause all this, to get her to start to break down and do all this damage. So Um, and of course, the last of the book, she goes back to her mother, and so it ends up killing her. If I'm not mistaken here, if I'm reading this right. So, and the rest of the book is about the aftermath of all this, and of the sort of cover up of what happened, and so it's an amazing book in a way, and it's all just about sort of consciousness and these abilities that manifest and are accelerated by circumstances and by people around the person who has these abilities, and what can happen if in basically a perfect storm of these circumstances that could lead to such a huge disaster. And really, I mean, if you think of there's been reports over time of people that have had abilities to move objects with their minds. It's also all over fiction, just in general, and it's something that has been around for a long time, and it used to be more associated with whenever objects would move, it'd be something thought to be more of a spiritual thing. But given research that's been done over the years, here and there, and reports of activities, that's just, it seems to me that some people, even in the real world, have, or at one time or another, have had these abilities to move objects with their minds. So I've really sort of done a very vague summary of that book because I lost my spot several times there. And so, yeah, that could have been better. But I guess I got the overall feeling of it. And if you want more, then I would suggest you read the book. All these books, really, because everything that I said is just a really vague version of what happened. And there's just so many details. King is so good at putting in details in his books about the motives of all of his characters, the thinking, the reasoning that the characters go through for that drives them to their actions. Yeah, I've already reviewed a lot of King books, and I am hoping to review more, and especially more of his recent ones. Like I said, I just recently I just bought Fairy Tale. The Institute I want to review. That's another more recent one, and because I've already read that one as well. And yeah, so I'll be reviewing more of his books when I can, here and there. And but I do want to get back to True Paranormal Stories from the Web next week, and we'll sort of alternate every week between, or every so often, between the true stories and then these books and these movies and TV shows that all seem to have at least some degree of basis on reports of things that happened in the non-fictional world. And that's why I do these reviews, because of those connections. And so, yeah, thank you all for listening. And I will talk to you all next time on Salsidoparanormal. Take care.